Ayaga, 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 kayowe, 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 kayowe.
My name is Zach Brown. I'm Yurok and Yurok, and right now we are at Sumig Village. This is one of the villages or village sites where my family comes from.
Ayuki Hukich, Inan Chikas Keduk Fata Menam. My name is Terrence Brown. My Native American name is Chikas. I'm upriver, Kerak, Keduk Ada, the people. And today and the last 2 or 3 days, we've been gathered at the Sumig Indian village, which is a Yurok village, which marks the southernmost part of the Yurok tribe. This village today is accommodating our young Indian stick players, and I'm proud to be here with my son, Zach Brown.
So we're having a stick camp, and this is the second stick camp we've had. The last one we held was in 2015. Well, it's an opportunity for a lot of young men to learn about some of the traditional training of the stick games, why the game was played, how to play it, and learn a lot about the positions with the anchors, the runners, the scratchers, and how we played the game a long time ago and how it's played today.
That's what you're after right there.
My name is Jeff Guido. I am a Yurok tribal member and also Talawa descent, and we're here at Sumig Village for 2023 stick camp. We're doing a lot of training, starting from the ground up, teaching these boys how to make their sticks, how to make tossels, teaching them the importance of training. It was a big goal to teach them about managing their aggression. As males, we need to learn how to manage our aggression and use it in an appropriate way instead of taking it out in the streets and using anger in our lives in negative ways. We're trying to teach them how to use all of that aggression that we have as males in a positive way.
My name is Christopher Shaw. I am a Yurok tribal member, and I'm here at Sumig Village for the stick camp. Basically, we're trying to start teaching these kids how to play and how important it is to know the rules and to play correctly and just what it's all about. Just because there's not much, they know it, they've seen the game, but there's nobody really teaching it and teaching it correctly. So we want to be able to teach the kids what this game is and how to run it, how to play it correctly. The bonding of the kids, having the kids be around strong men and leaders. Some of these kids don't see that all the time, and they're unaware of what that looks like. So having people who are strong, who are mentally tough, who will see the challenge and go through it and that type of stuff, you know, and they can learn it through sticks. Doesn't have to be, you know, sitting down and talking to the kids, but they see the way we are on the stick field. They see the way we are as people and as mentors here at the camp, and the kids will see that whether they know it or not. It's really cool to see that the kids are even bonding with themselves and each other too, because there's a lot of friendships and stuff that comes along, and
There you go.
we're able to use those friendships and use those mentor roles as teaching abilities for the kids.
Growing up, I watched a lot of the stick games kind of die down, where there wasn't a lot of males playing, and we were losing a lot of warriors, a lot of men in the community to drugs, alcohol, to violent, a lot of violence. And it was a really sad time to see, watching a lot of these games and a lot of the training and a lot of people I competed against. We used to have tournaments that were, multiple days long, and now it's down to like a few hours of, very limited amount of people playing. This used to be like a really big thing for our people a long time ago. This was like the Olympics for our native people. You get the best competitors from different age divisions all the way into the men's division. And these guys were training all year long, getting prepared for these stick games. And now you have, very limited amount of, players competing, very limited amount of teams competing. For me, this is so important to like teach these boys, what it's like to be a man and to be a warrior, and teach them the importance of, when you get older, about being a protector, being there for your community, being there for your family, being a strong person for yourself. And always talk to a lot of the boys and a lot of the families that I've worked with. If something were to happen in the village, better believe me and a lot of the other men around would be on the front line to protect everyone. Because this is about preserving our way of life, and the warriors had a big part of that. Our warriors were well respected, the most respected in the community, because we put our lives on the line a long time ago. And that's how, these are the things and the values that a lot of these young men need to learn. And, keeping that alive for me is by training more men. Training a lot of these young men to be men and what it's like to be a man. And the importance of, protecting your family, taking care of your family, being a good person in the community. You need more positive male role models in the community in order to do this. So it's really gathering a lot of, healthy men and working with more people in the community and start pulling them in and teaching them the importance of our stick games, the ceremonies, language, gambling, a number of things. But it's teaching them skills and preserving our old ways of life. As soon as the game was over, they come up to each other and shake hands like that. See what they're doing right there? That's one of the handshakes that the young men and the men do. You guys see that? Look. See how he's shaking his hand like this? Like that? That's where they're in agreement that things are over, things are settled, and we're ready to move on.
Ayuki, who teach? My name is Earl Moon. I am from the Bear River Rancheria tribe, Yurok tribe, and the Karuk tribe. Also a descendant of the Chinese. That's where my Moon name came from, as most people know. I come from a long history of being involved in my culture. It all started with my brother and I playing sports, especially wrestling. It's a family sport. And from wrestling turned into playing sticks. And we played sticks for many years. And I have to say, we were pretty good at it. I have to also mention the other two other brothers were on my team, with Garth Sundberg and Mark Sundberg. And we were a good team, and we did well.
A lot of people just think it's kind of just a game, but they did it to solve arguments. They did it so they didn't have to go to war. So we want to say that I want to teach the kids that this is something that we do for our people, and there's an actual reason behind it, not just doing it just to do it or doing it to play a game. There's actual cultural significance behind what we do and why we're here.
Sticks up. All right. If things couldn't get settled using words, this was a step better, settling it this way. And if you wanted to avoid going to war, the stick games were used to settle things, to make things right. Do you guys know what happens after you have a stick game and you settle things?
You leave all the negative energy at the field.
You leave that alone. You leave that there. When things are done, you guys are settled, and then you move on. It's something you don't keep talking about, something you don't keep bringing up. You guys leave that there. Now I'm going to tell you something that's really important. As young men and as you become men and older men, it's important to know when to turn that aggression on and off. Are you guys paying attention? So as young men and men, we're very aggressive people, and we use forms of aggression through physical activity. Meaning, the more we train, the more disciplined we become, the more dangerous we are. But you need to be able to manage that aggression, control your emotions, so you know when to turn that on and off. So when we come to ceremony, do we come to ceremony in a bad way, in a negative way? When we come to the dances? When we come to the ceremony, we're supposed to deal with a lot of our disputes, or if we're fighting with another family, or if we're having an argument, we're meant to settle those things before we come to ceremony. So once we settle these things, then we move on, then things are okay.
I am here participating with the stick camp for the youth now, and it's good to see these kids being really involved with keeping the culture going.
If we don't teach it, it goes extinct, just like everything else in this world. That's why it's important to pass it down. We don't want ways like this to go extinct, you know? So passing it on to the next generation is very important, because we've lost way too many things in the past, from language to dances to resources for the dances even. So to keep something like this that's very important, it's amazing that we're able to pass this knowledge down to the next generation. So important.
It's important for me to see my kids be involved in our culture, because I know it preserves everything that we have left. A lot of it was stripped away, and seeing all the kids and the families and knowing that my boys are showing up, it means a lot to me to know that we're still carrying that on as best we can.
Just always good to keep the culture coming into these present days.
I think it's important because our culture is dying, because back then there was these schools that would torture our ancestors not to learn our stuff, our culture.
You know, there's a lot of things that have happened to our people in the past historically, and one of the first things that happened was they took a lot of the men away. They did a lot to, you know, kill a lot of the men, because they knew how important it was to have those male role models. And it was sad to see, you know, growing up, not having a lot of like male figures to, you know, train with and work with. And it was something I had to seek out, and that's something I saw, you know, with a lot of kids that I was working with, is not a lot of them have father figures or male figures to look up to in the community and in their lives. This is why it's so important. If you look at, you know, a lot of statistics of not having, you know, a male figure, positive male figure, role model in your life for boys and girls, that you're more likely to get into a lot of trouble, and there's a lot of data backing that up. So for me, this is one of the most important things for young men, young warriors to learn, is to learn that discipline, and having someone give them that foundation and teaching them how to get in routines and do things over and over and over to where it becomes second nature. That's why it's important to have someone you're working with on an ongoing basis to show them what we're training for, you know, why we're doing these stick games, and how important it is for our warriors moving forward to learn these things and how they can take this into their lives in the future.
I think it's important to learn about the culture because you need to know stuff that you're a part of.
I think it's important to learn about our elders.
I just think it's important because like it gives you an opportunity to like see all your people and become in tune with like who like you once were, you know what I mean?
Our stick players from upriver at Kadamine trained on the beach above Ishipish Falls. Our stick players had rocks that weighed close to 70 or 80 pounds, and our stick players would run up and down the beach until they were absolutely exhausted. Then they'd swim the river and they'd go sit on the Indian card prayer rock where they would fast maybe a half a day or a day in preparation for the Indian card games or the Indian stick games. Sometimes the players, because they were both prominent, their bodies were fleet, their bodies were strong, they would fast and stay there all day, all night, sometimes 2.5 days, preparing for the Indian stick games or the Indian card games. That's what we call strong, powerful medicine within our people.
Well, I had asked a number of my elders to come out and speak about their experience with the stick games and how rough it was. But one of the things that's very common when you hear a lot of the stories from the elders and a lot of older men is this was all preparation for if something were to happen, that the men weren't afraid to, you know, approach an enemy, or they didn't have that fear of going out and knowing something may happen. They just went out and did it because it was a duty. You didn't ask to go out there like that. That was in your heart. That I need to protect my family. I need to protect the people in this village. I need to protect and preserve this way of life. So this keeps going. And that's what a lot of these young warriors are going to learn. And this is some of the stories and things that's very common every time I hear someone talk about stick games. When I hear a lot of the elders talk about their stick games, they were ready. It didn't matter, you know, what time of year it was. Like, they were training all the time. Something came up and there was a challenge. Like, they were ready. So that's what you'll hear from all the elders and all the older speakers when they tell their stories of, you know, competing in the games.
They all went together, you know. It's not like we just had an event for the sticks. Sometimes they all came together at once. Like, you know, we'd hold a dance, and then after the dance, they play the cards, and then maybe after the cards, they all get together and go out and play sticks too. Because you see, the person who wants to play sticks or try to get the stick game going for the dance, he would bring his stick into the dance, and he would do certain movements to get the opposing team to maybe come out with their stick to accept the challenge. And then after the dance, they'd get to an agreement and say, okay, well, we can either play cards and gamble too before the game as well, so we can like have something to bet on. And then after we do that, we go play sticks, and maybe if I lost the card game, maybe I'd put something on, I feel comfortable putting something towards the stick game, like a necklace or a piece of regalia, like a jump stick or something like that, you know? So very amazing what we get out of these things. Definitely, what the ceremonies are so important because it just brings everything together: the dance, the cards, and the sticks.
I mean, it's ironic, but me kind of getting hurt and me being on crutches is probably one of the most things I'm going to remember. But just seeing the kids, showing the kids that we can battle, we can get in there, and we could go do the drills with them, but not just telling them what to do, but leading them by example and doing the same things that they're doing, and showing that we are teaching them stuff that we have to do ourselves, not just running there and telling them, oh, go do this, go do that. This is what we were taught, this is how we did it, and I'm still learning how to play sticks myself, so being able to learn it and not just be able to tell kids what to do, but be able to learn myself and do some drills and learn that I'm getting old, so that type of stuff.
One of the highlights that I had was when we went to the beach and we had all of these little boys sit quietly for about 10 minutes straight. And so when Zach was leading it and he said he wanted them to sit quietly and think about what we're here for 10 to 15 minutes, I thought, boy, that's pretty ambitious. But to watch these young boys be able to sit still and be quiet and just be in the space that they're in for that amount of time was pretty amazing.
Today was awesome. We got to go down on the beach, and anytime I made a stick in the past, I was always told it was important to fast and make medicine for the stick that you made and the tassels. So I wanted to teach that to the kids, and to see the kids listen and be patient when I had asked them to be quiet, to think about something really positive, and see themselves in the future and how they're going to use that stick, and just think of something good. And that was one of the highlight moments for me, watching these kids, pay attention, to listen, and to do this together as a group. That was one of my big highlights.
Sometimes it's really hard for us to communicate with the youngsters and have them sit down for a couple minutes, because we all know when we remember when we were little, very, very short time span, for learning. So I think the best part is when we get them concentrated, and we get them focused, and then we get them out there and they're having a fun time because they're actually taking it serious, and that could be whether when we're having them run, when we got them carving their sticks out and not, getting hurt or getting cut by the knife because they're paying attention, or when they're making the tassels and learning how to braid the rope even, that's a very important part, getting them to concentrate on that. Such an important part because we all know how long it takes to braid something. So I'd say I love it all just as much. The best part maybe even be just us getting together, just the getting together part might be the best part for me.
I think it's so important for any adult men now to know that there's youth that don't have the best role models. I think about the generational traumas that have happened within our culture, and to have so much of it still going on at home, and the kids getting a break and coming here and saying just some positive stuff. And I really want to encourage the parents to come out and support this as well, because I don't have background in psychology, or I just have done a lot of research, and just knowing that it's a community base. We are all not meant to think and be alike, so if we can have that respect for each other and support for each other for the difference in perspectives, and we can have a community base where we can all come together collectively, and our youth can see us work through things as a collective effort community. That's what it's about. As Indigenous people, we were a community base. It took a village to raise kids, and a healthy village to raise kids. And if you feel like your environment isn't healthy, you got to get around ones that are. And there's no shame in anything. It's just we all got to learn and support each other and love on each other as hard as we can, and be willing to work on ourselves and contribute in this community-based effort. So I feel like it's really important for not just the kids to see this, but for the adults to see the youth, and like the youth are our future. So I believe that's really important.
My name is Malachi. I am from the Yurok tribe.
My name is Poi, and I'm from the Yurok tribe.
My name is Cody James Frank, and I'm from, well, my adopted tribe is the Bear River tribe, but I'm originally from Nevada, the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe tribes.
My name's Jack. I'm Yurok.
My name is Ace. I'm here from Bear River.
My name is Thomas Brown, Yurok and Karuk.
My name is Simeon Colgrove, and I am from the Hubar tribe.
My name is Robin Martin. I am from the Yurok tribe.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm Yurok.
My name is Blaine. I'm from the Yurok tribe.
My name is Kitka Nelson, and my tribe is the Yurok tribe. I'm in multiple tribes.
My name is Tate Nelson. I'm from the tribe Yurok.
You as young warriors have that charge from us elders. You're the warriors coming up to represent our people. We take pride in looking at you, we take pride in knowing about you, we take pride in knowing about who you are. And that's what it means as young stick players, to be a part of a team. We're Native Americans.
We need to know about our culture. We need to know who our people are and what to do when we're older. I'd want to be more invested in cultural things like this.
I think I would like to come back to something like this.
So that's my goal, to stay on top of this, keep it going, keep kids motivated, help kids get back on their feet that are struggling, talk to them, spend some time with them. I just did a little while ago, and me and this young man had a good talk, and that's part of coming together.
It's a tradition that keeps our new generations involved in something pure and good.
I'd like to come back to something like this again.
It was just a fun experience, and I'm glad to be here and just learn about my culture more. So
I really enjoyed my time gambling here, playing drums, and it was just a fun time overall.
I look forward to coming into stuff like that.
And it's kids like that, and the mentors, the people putting on the camps, is what we need. And to me, it's just going to be a continuous, ongoing thing. So I'm pretty happy and proud to be here, to be involved.
It's one thing to teach kids how to do things, like gambling or stick games, but if you send them home and they don't have that support at home to continue to encourage it, we need to be consistent. We can't just be there once a year. So we need to start doing things weekly. And so having a weekly stick camp, having weekly cultural groups, which we're already doing at Trinidad Rancheria. So we're just going to continue to try to bring these kids in and encourage them and just be consistent.
So one of the things for me would be having more fields created like there was a long time ago, having more training grounds, and getting more camps like this set up on a regular basis, or having longer camps where we have more time to work with the boys and teach them about the stick games, about the dances. By having a longer time to work with anybody, you have better outcomes.
That's why you guys right now are in this training, preparing yourself. And not only that, I believe it really helps you in life, because you know what? Life is going to challenge you. And the question is, are you guys going to be able to meet that challenge?
Hey, yo. hey yo, hey yo, hey